Adventure Time is back and better than ever. This episode was just brilliant. The, the art was fantastic, and the comedy. This was one of the best episodes I've seen in a long time. One of the things that made this episode so great was the entire plot, actually. Whoever thought that Finn would go and have a revenge drive? Certainly not me. I never thought Finn would hold a grudge against anyone. But I guess he had a right to be angry because he lost his favorite arm and his dad turned out to be a total jerk. So, I'll just build a gigantic tower that leads up to space and take his arm and replace mine. That song he was singing, though, I think Finn's starting to snap a little bit up here. Also, did you notice Jake isn't very much in the adventures anymore? He's always off doing something else, like going to the grocery store or something dumb like that. And why is Princess Bubblegum always the first one to jump into action whenever something goes wrong now? I mean, I mean, oh, Flame Princess is unstable and she's gonna destroy the world from the inside out. Or, you know, James needs to go and distract those toxic creatures so we don't get eaten ourselves. She needs to stop getting into everybody else's business. Just mind your own business, but I think Jake said it the best. TMLO, Princess. In other words, screw you. While we're on the topic of Princess Bubblegum, I just want to bring something up real quick. Her inventions are starting to get worse and worse. She gives Finn that candy arm, and she should know that that wasn't going to work very good because Finn's running around destroying everything he's touching because that arm is so gigantic and heavy. You know, she built rattle balls. Why can't she give him a good robotic arm like that? I think one of my favorite parts is when the block falls off the tower and hits Bimo when he's on the ground down below, and then it smashes him and pile drives him right into the ground. That's one of the best parts. So Finn meets this cloud girl, Carol, and she starts preaching to him about how instead of getting revenge on the thing she hated most, because she used to be water before she evaporated into a cloud, and instead of getting revenge on the people who used to swim through when she was water, which she hated, instead of getting revenge, she changed who she was and she just forgot about it. Left her old life behind and started fresh. So she's preaching to him now that revenge isn't always the best way. There are other options than revenge. And over the years, Finn has taken in more and more lessons, and it has made him a better person. He's taken in all the things that he learned from Billy and Rattleballs and Princess Bubblegum and now Carol too. But another thing is he just can't accept when he's wrong. Because at first, instead of listening to Carol, he's just like, no, you should have gotten revenge. That wasn't the best option. I'm not going to listen to you. I'll just turn around and look at this magnificent view behind me here. So as the tower is getting higher and higher, going farther and farther up into space, he keeps borrowing, or I guess stealing, blocks from various kingdoms throughout Ooh, and they just view what all the kingdoms look like without their blocks. And it looked like like kind of in Minecraft when you set off like TNT or a nuclear bomb or something, and then there's all these pieces missing from your land. That's what it looks like. He stole the entire head off the Ice King's mountain, for crying out loud. It wasn't very well thought out either, because he finally reaches space, and he's just stacking blocks on top of each other, trying to support himself, and yet he can't even breathe because there's no oxygen in space. So he didn't think this out very well. And then just as he reaches the portal into space from the Citadel, what does he do? He passes out. So close. Don't you just hate it when you're that close to doing something and then something happens and it screws everything else up? And then Princess Bubblegum tries to help him get over his revenge craze by taking him into the Candy Kingdom Fallout shelter, dressing up as Finn's dad, and then taking a beating so that Finn can get over his revenge. You know what? Uh, Princess Bubblegum, she's really dropping. I'm speechless. You can't come up with a better plan than that? I mean, we're talking about the person who single-handedly, with Lady Rainicorn's help, broke into Ice King's secret cave in which Ricardio was holding everyone hostage and broke them free. We're talking about the person who built the entire Candy Kingdom from scratch and the citizens along with it. And she couldn't come up with a better plan than that one? And then she gets all close to Finn and she's like, "Oh, sorry about that, buddy." Yeah, don't know if that's going to help so much. And this is really typical. He goes home and Jake's like, "Okay, we don't need this tower anymore, so we can just get rid of it." And then Finn's like, "Okay." And he pulls a piece off of the tower, and the whole thing collapses and it falls for miles. Timber! And then it falls over and it crashes right down through the Candy Kingdom. And then from across the horizon, you hear Princess Bubblegum screaming, "Ah, my arm!" from miles and miles away. So now Princess Bubblegum can see what it's like herself, not having one of her arms. So now she's out one arm too. And now maybe she can try what it's like going around with that giant gumball arm that she gave Finn at the beginning. So despite all that, this episode was amazing. Once again, the art, phenomenal. And the comedy, I laughed so hard. Harder than any Adventure Time episode I've seen in the past 5 months. It was fantastic. I loved it. And above all else, Finn learns one of the most important life lessons. Revenge is not worth it. Don't go chasing after revenge because then it will only lead to disaster. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section. Again, I loved it. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.